Countdown.
No, it's video. We're gonna Okay.
You know that song?
Yeah, I'm not that young.
All right.
I'm incredibly old, but I just hide it very well.
Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Beer. Oh boy, welcome to Beer and Bones Lite. We're here with Gavin. He's from the museum, I think. So, so Gavin, this has been a wild
I'm off
success.
the clock right now, so I'm not technically at the museum right now. So,
But
that means anything.
you're still the brains behind this child, behind this brainchild.
One of the cogs of the machine.
Right, but maybe the most important, some would say.
Oh well. I mean, you're making me blush.
So-
It's dark, so you can't tell.
Tee. So we're obviously out here.
Dimples. It's hard to tell with the beard.
Oh yeah, huh? I forgot I had a beard. No. Anyway, we're here at Cider Core. I'm here with Gavin McCullough. You know him from the show. Obviously, he's from the Arizona Museum of Natural History. Gavin, this has been a super fun time. So first of all, thanks for putting it together.
Oh, thank you very much for coming and supporting everything that the museum does and being such boosters.
I mean, it's so incredible. We were just having a talk with a hydrologist for
that's right.
forever. That was super fun.
So we've got two. That's right. There's two geologists over here.
Off camera.
Lauren, I'm sorry. I'm outing you as a type of geologist, even though I know you would rather be a. Because a hydrologist is a type of geologist. Are you okay with that? Oh, hydrogeologist. Professional geologist, first of all, which is more important than anything else, because that's the hardest of all of the things to get.
Right, geology, it's fine. Add water.
Yeah, no, there's people that have PhDs in geology who are too afraid to get a PG. It's true. There are people who have PhDs in geology who are afraid to get a PG because it's too hard. Like a PG is harder to get than a PhD in geology.
For the listening and viewing audience, what's a PG?
Professional geologist.
There you go.
Certification for professional geologists, such as Lauren here. And I bet Becky over here is going to also go for a PG at some point, right? Yeah.
There's
layers in certain. There's actually not yet an equivalent in paleontology for this certification. Although,
really,
from what I understand, there is work afoot to have there be a type of test, a type of situation wherein there would be a certification where you could be a professional paleontologist, because there's professional archaeologists,
sure,
there's professional geologists. These are certifications, and they're actually sort of separate from the academic degrees.
Right.
They're for people who kind of go work in resource mitigation and stuff like that. So.
Well, okay, so that brings up an interesting question, because when I was looking into degrees in paleontology, it's basically just a degree in geology with a sub of biology, right? Or is it different?
As far as I know, there's almost no, at least in the United States, the only graduate degree in paleontology proper you can get is from the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. Like if you want a degree in paleontology,
right? That's
it. Except I believe University of, one of the Virginias. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head.
I mean, you got
but there's a paleobiology program which I think might now starting to offer a paleontology graduate degree, I think it's a paleobiology graduate degree. But to your point, almost everybody who's a paleontologist, especially at the upper levels, is either a geologist or a biologist. And lately the pendulum has swung more into the biology camp, because all the questions that are more interesting about paleontology are biological.
Biological, not geological. Yeah, because you're looking at fossils, which are rocks, so there's the geology aspect. Well, you have to rewind the clock to when they were bones. So, at least to me, in my heart of hearts, biology would be the number one as opposed to geology, because if you look at a bone, you can say, well, it's a type of limestone or whatever. But that doesn't really tell you about the animal that it was.
I kind of wonder whether some of that shift from geology, because if you go back to 25, 30 years ago, most paleontologists were probably geology trained. They were geologists first. And I kind of wonder if that had something to do with resource exploration back in the day when it was, paleontologists were like getting hired to look for oil and to look for gas and stuff like that. And so they were more interested in the stratigraphy and the where are the things in the ground. And then later on, people went, well, shoot, we want to know about how these things live. How do we do that? That's a biology question.
Right.
I don't know if that's just me kind of wondering if that's where it went.
Well, you're probably right because let's say the mosasaur fossil, like Georges Cuvier was a biologist. He was not a geologist. So maybe when that shifted and they go, well, it's all rock, we need geologists to do these things, and they just sort of haphazardly fell into paleontology because you're going to unearth bones.
It may be.
Weird.
Because I feel like there's only so much that geology. Okay, the geologists are over there, so they're not going to hear me right now and be mad at me. But I feel like there's a point at which you kind of know enough geology to kind of be able to deal with your fossils. Sort of, knowing about the basics of where this is, how deep is it, where does it fall in relationship to other, packets of rock.
Sure.
And so you kind of have done that part, but the biology questions are kind of endless. And that's more where you, gosh, maybe you got to have that biology background more. How do I answer that question? Because, a lot of paleontologists I know, they've got their, with exceptions, and I'm broad brushing here,
sure,
but they have said, look, maybe I did my undergraduate in geology. I got everything I need to know about geology from those basic courses that you get at an undergraduate level. I don't really need more geology in order to address these questions that are biological questions that I care about,
Because with a degree in geology, you'll be able to tell, the building blocks of the thing you're looking at, but you need the biomechanics. If you're going to put together a dinosaur, it's not just a rock.
Or whatever other questions you have are almost all biological.
Exactly.
Other than, where is it, when is it, those are the geology questions.
Right.
But but those also touch on biology too, of course, because if you're asking where or when, those are points in time in which there were environments that we maybe don't understand, and those are also biological questions about what is this environment like, and those speak to the nature of the sediments that these things were then in. So kind of in a weird way, the geology almost is always going to call back to the biology about why is this thing here? It's here in this rock because it lived in this environment. What was that environment? That's a biological, at least a partially biological.
You're touching on a point that I think a lot of people overlook, because an organism cannot exist without an environment. And to know the environment, maybe you need to be a geologist. And by maybe, I mean definitely, because you're going to have to look at the sediment and the situ in which they are preserved. Because an organism cannot exist in a vacuum. You need to be the geologist to be like, okay, here's what we're looking at as far as the rock formation and yada, yada, yada. So I guess...
But you kind of need both. I mean,
really, totally do.
It's probably still the best way to go about it if you were going to be going through it in an academic way would be to have both biology and geology. I would probably say nowadays, sure, double major in biology and geology is probably the perfect thing to have.
Probably.
But you don't necessarily, I don't think, need more than an undergraduate. If anybody who's a pure geologist is hearing this, they're going to kill me. I don't know if you need much more than an undergraduate's geology degree's worth of geologic background to then be competent in moving forward in paleontology. But you might want to have more biology now if you're going to start asking those questions.
Yeah, because what you would need basically is an understanding of the chemical makeup of the rock and how it was made. Because what beyond that would you need when looking for a dinosaur, right? As long as you know it's sedimentary, you can know the time period, which the geology will all tell you, but then the biology will come into play as soon as you find that bone and need to be like, okay, this was a living thing. It is not a rock.
It's not a rock, yeah, but it kind of is.
It kind of is. It was at once.
You want to front if you're trying to ask the question about like how did this thing live, what was it doing? Yeah, that's when the biology comes in, and I think that's. I feel like in the past 20 or so years, a lot of biologists, and in fact, there's a bunch tonight at different bars tonight who are here, are anatomists. And you definitely need to have anatomy background if you're going to be doing a lot of paleontology. And a lot of times now, anatomy schools or medical schools are hiring paleontologists to teach anatomy.
Really?
In fact, we've got at least two tonight who work. No, we've got 3 people here at least tonight. I know of. I haven't seen them yet tonight, but I know they're around. Who are professors at Midwestern University in Glendale who teach anatomy as their day job, and they do paleontological research as their side. On the side, I mean, that's also part of their job.
Wild.
But
They
they are. I know a lot of people. I feel like that's the thing, though. There's a lot of paleontologists who end up teaching anatomy because they have the biological background.
If you're going to take on the task of studying life, no matter what time period, you need all of that because you can't just look at, like, let's say you want to study fruit flies, for example. You can't look at them in a vacuum. You have to take everything. So it only makes sense that a paleontologist would be well versed in biology, mineralogy, geology, and all and sundry. But
Mineralogy.
let's get to a little more exciting stuff because Sherman was talking about the hadrosaur that he had pulled out, or like maybe it was the 111 Ranch.
No, that hadrosaur is from the Menifee Formation, an early Cretaceous piece of rock from New Mexico.
So is that actually brand new, or is it something that we have already established that we're finding pieces of?
That was a new find and a new species of hadrosaur.
Nice.
The researchers who did the work to describe that hadrosaur were able to recognize that, oh, hey, this is a hadrosaur, and they had the anatomy knowledge to go back and sort of look at different hadrosaurs, probably of similar age, but maybe ones that are even more advanced, to say, okay, the bits we have are different enough from the ones that we know about that we think it's a new species. So they were able to identify. Now, I don't know whether in the field if they were able to, when they dug it up, did they know, hey, this is a hadrosaur? I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I was not involved in that excavation. Right. Oftentimes when you find something out in the field, you don't necessarily know what the heck it is.
For sure.
You got to go back in the lab and clean it off and knock things off. And then even then, maybe not.
Right.
You got to go and compare it to other things, take measurements. Hopefully you can go and go through the literature and compare it. If you're really lucky, you can go visit other collections and sort of see, hey, if I think it's a something or other, let's go to another museum that has something or others that I think it might have.
So what material do we have of this hadrosaur? I imagine probably leg bones because they're everywhere. Some vertebrae.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Tyler might know more than this. Were you involved in the Hayawati discovery, or is that before your time? Okay, all right. I know there's some skull material.
Oh.
And I think that's the main stuff. For hadrosaurs, you basically, you've got to have skull, because from the neck back, hadrosaurs are all pretty much
like
the same.
ceratopsians.
Andrew Starkey's going to kick my ass if he hears this. But, so this was a thing that the main researchers, Doug Wolf and Andrew McDonald, when they found this, I'm not sure, do you know was it one of them who found that, or do you know off the top of your head? My guess is they didn't necessarily immediately recognize it in the ground as a hadrosaur. Maybe they did, I don't know.
What do you have to be diagnostically, depending on if it's fragmentary, you'd be like, ooh.
Yeah. But the thing about this spot was that almost everything coming out of that place is pretty much a new critter.
Really?
So there was actually some, it's a piece of rock, it's an area that is fairly unknown, and it takes eyeballs on the ground to find it. And and a lot of times it's kind of everywhere we go, anywhere you work, almost always, it's okay, it's a fossil. Let's bring it out and clean it up. We don't know what it is yet.
We'll look at it
so
later.
It took a lot of work for them to look at this.
Sure.
This hadrosaur and sort of, okay, I guess it's a hadrosaur. It's different enough. It's got certain features that made it separate and distinct from other ones.
When was that collected?
Oh boy, I don't know. I want to say, I can't say for sure.
Within
Maybe
the last
in
2 years?
No, it was before that. Let's see, it was released.
Oh yeah,
It was named about 5 years ago. You know what? Oh, I misspoke. Okay. Oh, this hadrosaur I was speaking of. I was confusing it. Bye, Becky. Are you taking off? Am I going to see you at another place, or are you heading home?
I'm heading home.
Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe Spur Cross, you're thinking, possibly?
Possibly.
It would be...
If it's on Monday
Okay.
or Sunday, I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, but Zach won't be able to go those days.
Okay. All right. I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good night. Thank you. I forgot something. Oh, I misspoke. Okay, the hadrosaur, I was confusing it with another one from
before.
Wait a minute. No, I wasn't. I was right. Never mind.
Okay.
I had a few drinks. Okay.
Because what I wanted to know was
early Cretaceous.
It's
and
not
I'm right.
gypsy, right? I know it's early Cretaceous, but it's not gypsy.
Gypsy.
Does no one know her name? The pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, no, that's Jules.
Jules. God
No,
dang it.
sorry. That's a different one.
I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Sorry, not gypsy, but Jules.
Okay, I confused myself just now because I thought I was talking about the wrong hadrosaur. I was talking about the correct hadrosaur. Anyway. No, that's a different hadrosaur than the one we're speaking of.
Yeah, from New Mexico, but that was in Arizona.
It's the same situation, whereas much of the time when you find a thing, you don't necessarily know what it is.
Oh, yeah. So, how much so we have some skull material. How much of it do we have, like, beyond that?
Okay, of the one that I'm speaking of, this one that's about 92 million years old,
92?
from New Mexico, 92 million years ago. There's skull material, there's jaw material, and there's some other bits. It's in our vaults, and I can't think off the top of my head. I think there's some rib and maybe some postcrania. But the main part that I think they used to identify it as a hadrosaur was lower jaw, and it's a little bitty.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
The Jules, however, the one that is in our exhibit 75 million, that is about 15 million years younger than the one that I was just speaking of.
Okay, so yeah, obviously 75 million.
Yeah.
I had to do the math because I'm
Right,
an
I
idiot.
had to too. But that one is known from more fossil material, except I think not a skull. So that's known from a bunch of, although I'm not sure. And it's in a small museum in a small town in Sonora, just about 20 miles south of the border. And it was found by a grad student. He cleaned it off pretty well, and he had enough material to describe it. And it looks like actually it is a known specimen. It's a known. It was close enough to something that we already knew about, so it's a gripposaur. He thinks.
Yeah.
So he described it as a gripposaurus
Okay, so for our
because it's
audience,
got features that can be identified, which I couldn't tell you what they are personally.
give our audience when you say gripposaurus, what does that mean, like to the layman?
It's
Because you
a
say
duck-
hadrosaur, you say duckbill. What
Yeah,
is
it's
a
a duck-billed
gripposaur?
dinosaur. Gripposaur is a duck-billed dinosaur with kind of a bulbous nose, but no headgear. Not like there's no crest or anything
Right.
wonky.
So the
coming out of its head.
Parasaurolophus or the whatever.
Yeah.
Not
None of that stuff.
happening.
Yeah.
It's a regular
Kind of a flat head.
chrome dome a little bit.
The main feature on the head that I would think of is kind of just this rounded, kind of a round bulbous schnoz.
So
And then from the head back, it's just a stinking hadrosaur.
being an uneducated person like me, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think that bulb is essentially the same thing as the periscope of the Parasaurolophus, where it's essentially a resonance chamber?
Oh boy. I do not want to
Put you
answer
on the
that
spot.
question.
Listen, no one's going to hold your feet to the fire, but personally, in your heart of hearts, do you feel like that bulb on the nose is a resonance chamber? Because what else could it be used for?
I am smart enough to plead ignorance to have no opinion. I don't know about that stuff. I don't know anything about hadrosaur resonance chambers. I do not even want to hazard a guess. Sorry.
All right, well, I guess I'll have to find someone else's feet to hold to the fire.
I don't know crap about hadrosaur resonance chambers.
Well, okay, so let's maybe back up and say, what is your area of expertise?
No, I will say that I do believe Parasaurolophus resonance chamber theory,
Oh,
only
for
because
sure.
there was a guy walking around at SVP, and he was one of the first
With
people
the thing,
with the-
right?
yeah, he had
Yeah.
a trombone, like a 6-foot long PVC tube.
Brilliant, isn't it?
He's
And he
walking
just
around
blows
like,
into it.
wow. And it's like, what is this weirdo walking around with a PVC
Proof of
tube?
concept.
Yeah.
That's the
So
only
that
reason
I buy.
asked. Yeah.
I don't know enough to have an opinion. I'm too scared
Well,
to answer a question about that.
I know,
Yeah.
but
it sounds feasible.
In my
it's a
heart of
big
hearts-
honking schnoz. It's a big. There's a lot of space.
in my heart of hearts, we're going to go duckbill. We're going to go. They're making noise. They're like duckbill, not for no reason. Because ducks, geese, swans, etc. They all honk their asses off.
Yeah.
So I think that all of those proboscis the headgear is all meant to. Of course, I'm uneducated and probably a moron.
I don't know anything about it either.
To swap the sound so you can identify.
Yeah.
Because the structure is meaningless.
Makes sense.
Because if you're like one of those crested Laura Titans or whatever, or just the Saurolophus, not the Parasaurolophus.
Yeah. But there's
each one would give you a different tone, I bet.
maybe. And there's also all this soft tissue that we don't know anything about. What
Totally.
the heck was that doing? Was it like was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
Of course that had something to do with the.
Because imagine having like a waddle of a turkey to add resonance, right?
Of a turkey, yeah.
We need more dinosaur mummies is the problem. So
You're right. Let's do it.
let's do it. Let's go make more dinosaur mummies.
Fine. Let's make it happen.
So in the let's say in the vault of the museum, do you know offhand or like a general estimate of the specimens that are behind closed doors that are not available to public consumption?
Well, I'd like to say that technically all specimens are theoretically available for public consumption.
Sure.
They're not necessarily all on display. Most of them aren't. Actually, most of the things we have, it's kind of the same case with any museum. Most things are not on display. But, I think with any legitimate museum, if you want to see a thing and you make a case for it, you can go and make an appointment. In fact, I remember, this is a bit off topic, but there was a 20 or 25 years ago, the Smithsonian did kind of a traveling exhibit, ended up in downtown Scottsdale. They had one of Abraham Lincoln's hats on display.
I remember seeing that in the
And
Smithsonian.
I asked somebody who worked for the exhibit, there's some sort of curatorial person, about it, and I said, "Oh my God, this is really like, are you worried about this? And how do you maneuver? How do you keep this safe?" And he goes, "Well, we have our procedures, but also you should know that because it's from a legitimate museum, this is a thing that literally anybody could say, hey, I have a legitimate reason to want to study Abraham Lincoln's hat." They could make an appointment and get permission to go
And study his hat.
and study his hat. Justin Bieber, if he wanted to study Abraham Lincoln's hat, could fill out a form. If he got permission, if it went through, he could go do it. These are things that are available to the public. We're not necessarily trying to, these things should not just be kept forever.
Totally.
So, anyway, sorry I went off a bit on that.
No,
But,
it's
so yes,
it's
we have
germane.
things that are not on display that are in the museum, and we have probably quite a bit of hadrosaur material. In fact, we have probably more than we even know about, just because hadrosaurs were the common critter, common dinosaur. And to be honest, much of the dinosaur bone material we have, we probably, just based on the odds, statistics of what is the most commonly preserved, what is the most common thing that goes around, the thing, if we say, okay, we don't know what it is, a dinosaur, good chance it's a darn hadrosaur.
Probably.
So we've got things like ribs, some limb bones that we're kind of like, well, probably hadrosaur.
I think that
We don't have a name for it yet. And maybe it is a new species, but we don't have the diagnostic parts, which are generally on those things on the skull. And
yeah, totally.
So it's like,
because it's the only thing that's different.
Which is
because I feel like from the layman's point of view, 99% of dinosaurs, if you cut off their head, they're like every other dinosaur. Andy Farkey, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Ceratopsians, take the head off, they're all the same. Hadrosaurs, take the head off, they're all the same. Sauropods, size goes up and down. Basically the same. So, interesting. So what
I forgot your question. I probably just went off.
I don't even know what the question was, but here's another one. So what is left, like, in jackets waiting to be opened?
Okay, at our museum, the things that are in jackets waiting to be open, at least large jackets, are actually not dinosaur. It's stuff from, you mentioned earlier, 111 Ranch.
Megatherium stuff?
That stuff is early Ice Age stuff. So things like Glyptotheres, big old giant armadillo relatives. Things that were the size of like a mini, like a small we have big turtles, we have probably sloth material, proboscidean things, elephant relatives. Those are tend to be the big things that, oh my gosh. I don't even want to, if you think about them too much, you get scared.
Because you think, okay, elephants have these two modified teeth, right? And you say, well, proboscideans had them on the bottom, on the top, on the side. They're all over the place. Proboscideans are like the mammalian version of the ceratopsians.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Most
Take the horns off the top.
I think people would most say rhinos are the mammalian ceratopsians, but I like your style.
Well, because rhinos...
How about this? Hyraxes are more closely related to elephants than like a manatee or something. And a hyrax is a cute little puffball.
I'm just talking about purely visual.
Yes.
Because your elephant relatives are going to have horns, aka teeth, all over the goddamn place. So it's going to be like your ceratopsians, where they're going to be basically in the same spots, but the big ones are going to be accentuated. Like your centrosaur versus your chimerosaur versus your yada 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 yada.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Do it.
Someday, somebody's going to find a friggin' sauropod with headgear, with like horns and something. And
From your mouth to God's ears.
like some hoe feature and just like what the...
Because we have so many sauropods. We have fins, we have thagamizers, we have everything.
It's time for headgear.
We should have some sort of triceratops style therapy.
But then it'll be some goofy like ossicones like a giraffe has, and it'll just like boop and boop, and people will just be like what?
Hilarious little carnosaur.
That's not what I wanted.
Bumps or something. But that's the thing. It's like keeping an egg for 16 billion years. Stay there. Humans will be around eventually. Then. What a trip. So, Gavin, I really appreciate you spending the time with us.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you putting this all together.
No, thank you for coming in again, supporting us all the time.
Yeah, no,
and being so nice and so easy and just loving. It's been great to...
My role in this is a grain of sand on the beach, and you're the waves crashing upon it, so don't worry about it.
Nonsense.
So,
I'm a hermit crab trying to cling to a rock as the waves come and pummel me.
Listen,
I'm soon going to have to leave my shell.
I
might have to kill the snail that lives in the other shell that I go move into.
Take his home from him.
Take his home.
Do me a favor and give me an academic reason to start poking around your lab.
Bro, you gotta go see this. You gotta go see these like.
Well,
I'm not a scientist, so I have no legitimate reason.
No, yeah, you do, because you want to know something.
That's all you need?
Well, you have to have a reason to want to know about it.
Okay.
I think you just have to say, you just kind of have to ask. There's not a real complicated reason. There's curiosity is its own kind of reward in a lot of ways.
You know,
as long as you might get vetted. We might say, okay, let's make sure this person isn't going to
pass.
Isn't going to steal something. But in reality, yeah, you say you would just ask something. This should apply at any museum. You ask a curatorial person who works in the curatorial realm, hey, I would like to see this hadrosaur toe bone. I would like to see Abraham Lincoln's hat. I would like to see a
hadrosaur wearing the hat.
Hadrosaur wearing Abraham Lincoln's hat.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Abraham hadrosaur.
Species. Abraham Elopus. Anyway, but no, our museums are things that are for the public. The items inside of the collections of a museum are held in the public trust for the public good. They are not, and should not at least, I should say not are not, but should not be just hidden away for just pure, university academics.
For only academics.
And because there's amazing paleontological research from people who are not university people that Happens all the time. So, heck, even like Archaeopteryx, you can go and see Archaeopteryx yourself and get permission to go see the original Archaeopteryx.
But you got to go to Germany, right?
You got to go to Germany, but you have to say, hey, I'd like to see it for this reason. And yeah, they would vet you, but there's a high likelihood that you would be able to see it. These are things that are, things should not be hidden away in ivory towers.
Right. Something
hidden from people.
In my experience working with you and the museum and everything like that, it's been incredibly humbling. Because as an outsider, as a plebeian, as a peasant, I expect nothing. But just the small interaction I had by just going to the museum, talking to you, talking to all the hilarious and funny and interesting people involved with it, it's incredibly available to the layman. And it's something that I cannot express enough to you personally.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Allowing me to do all these shenanigans.
No, thank you for being interested in doing these shenanigans because, we are part of a public institution that is taxpayer funded ultimately, and we are available to people to not just visit us. I mean, we rely on taxpayer dollars to stay open as far as, come to our museum and pay your money, hopefully have a wonderful experience there and learn something and have fun. But aside from that, we have our entire collections area where it is available, not in maybe as easy a way as to just pay admission to come in, but if for people who are interested in knowing, hey, what the heck is going on behind the scenes? Why this? Why that? Can I know about what you guys are doing? Why is this research happening? What is the story behind these collections? We are open to having people come and satisfy their curiosity. We're a public institution and we love the public.
I'm so happy.
And we really love you guys, FFOP, and all the permutations that you have been. And I have a hard time keeping up with those.
Oh, yeah, because we're all over the place. Don't worry about it.
But for being such boosters and supporters of us, and not just us, but also just paleontology and curiosity in general, because you do a lot of things that are not just paleo. Yeah, you're a dinosaur person, but you have all of your things that I have been able to follow and understand have been kind of brain scratching. Hey, why is this like this? Let's figure this out. I want to figure this out. Maybe I don't understand why this is. Let's talk to someone who maybe does know. Let's work through this and see if I can figure it out. Maybe I'm not right. Maybe I am. Hey, here's something new.
My mind, I would like to think, is the embodiment of the Arizona Museum of Natural History, simply because we, meaning you and me, don't just go, hey, here are the facts, that's it. It's way more important to indulge your curiosity, even if you don't think there's anything there. There's always something there. So I'm willing to go back and back and back and back and look and look and look. Yeah. Because, put paleontology aside, archaeology, mineralogy, geology, Native American studies, it's all there and it's all for us, the people.
It is, yeah.
And it's so awesome.
And we're working
for the price of a ticket.
Yeah. And thank you so much. And we're not perfect, but we're trying to improve and we're trying to make things better as conditions improve. So thank you very much. So I very much appreciate it.
From the second I stepped foot in that museum, I have been telling people there's one place to go in Arizona. That is the museum. It's going to sound like I'm throwing shade, but when you go up north or any other museum in Arizona, their dinosaur selection woefully anemic.
See, you're a dinosaur guy, though. See, this is so it's not a fair thing.
Oh,
to say,
I know.
Right? Okay.
It's completely unfair. But if you want dinosaurs, you come to Mesa. You talk to Gavin. If you want to go a level deeper, it's available to you.
Yeah.
And me.
Yes.
Because I'm just a person.
Yeah.
Well, Gavin,
we're all just people. Thank you so much.
Whew, I got to tell you, this
Thank
has
you
been
for coming to
one
this.
of the best nights of the year. We're here at Cider Core. Check them out.
Oh, yeah,
The
definitely.
cider is amazing.
And the pizza here also, Mike's Pizza, they just won some award from Phoenix New Times or something for being the best pizza in the state.
I watched a man
believe.
literally 6 feet, 6 inches maybe from me eat it. And I was very jealous. Low carb, so I'm sad.
Oh yeah. I think they do a cauliflower crust.
Oh, damn!
Am I lying? I didn't want to say that and make you get excited and then have you. Oh
Listen,
no, you guys got excited. I might be
don't-
lying.
If you're lying, it's fine. I'll not have any delusions
You
of
get the
grandeur.
toppings on like your hand or something.
Can I have some toppings, please?
It's on! It's on! It's on! It's so worth it.
Go ahead and stick these in the oven there, and then we're out. So, let's just, I don't want to take up any more of your time because you've probably got tons of stuff to do. This has been an incredible evening. So if you are local, go see the AZMNH Museum of Natural History, 75 million BC, open now. If you're not local, what's a plane ticket? What's a car ride? Pull your head out of your ass, go see the museum. I'm out of drink, so we'll say goodbye. Gavin, thank you so much for being on for yet another interview. I feel like I am a sand flea on the camel that is you. Camelops.
Camelops. Thank you.
Sand flea ops is me. So we'll catch you next time, whenever that is.